One Piece.
For 15 years, One Piece has been delivering many of my all-time favorite anime moments. I cried alongside Vivi. I burst out laughing at Sanji's doppelganger. I shouted with Luffy when he yelled to Nico Robin in Water 7. I can't even begin to express how much One Piece means to me, and how it's shaped me as a person to this very day. So, why has it felt so empty lately? Why has One Piece lost that emotional spark that kept me invested for so many years? Has the show changed, or have I? After rewatching the first few arcs and doing some research, I think I finally figured it out. One Piece has a major pacing problem, and there's only one way to fix it. One Piece needs to go seasonal. I have one simple request for One Piece each week. Satisfaction. Give me some cool moments in a fight, some funny banter, and tease just a little bit of that signature Oda emotional gut punch that's coming later on. One Piece, much like winning an argument on r/anime, is one of the few things to truly evoke emotion from me. I want to cry my eyes out like I did in Drum when Chopper saw the Sakura trees. I want to curl my fist in rage, like I did when Arlong sent his marine lackeys to shatter Nami's hopes. Most One Piece arcs have a dozen moments like this, and 100 smaller ones. I want One Piece to leave me breathless again, like it used to. I had to ask myself, has One Piece's emotional stakes degraded over time? Is the story as impactful as it once was? Am I just an emotionally jaded shell of a human who only feels alive when daydreaming about being isekai'd? Of course not. Eiichiro Oda is every bit the narrative genius he always has been. The problem is he's mortal, time is finite, and cloning technology isn't quite where it needs to be yet. Over the course of One Piece's run, the anime has been steadily catching up to the manga. In response, the anime has been padding things out here and there. The goal is obviously to keep things moving while maintaining a nice buffer between the anime and manga. It works in theory, but the anime still creeps ever closer to catching up. Oda needs to take time off now and then, like he's human or something, while the anime rarely ever does. Well-made anime also just tends to move faster than manga as well, and so there's naturally fewer episodes per arc than there are anime chapters. Or there were. You can see in this chart how the ratio of manga chapters to anime episodes has been gradually increasing arc by arc. There are simply less manga panels per episode of anime anymore. Less is happening every week now. Episodes are filled with pointless, extended power struggles, cascades of reactions from unimportant characters, and dizzying amounts of flashbacks. I want actual fights, One Piece, not Dragon Ball Z hockey beam battles. There's so much happening, but almost nothing of substance or consequence. And when something cool does finally happen, we keep shifting to new scenes and perspectives for an episode and a half before getting back to it. And all the tension from the situation just deflates. A perfect example of this is Luffy's huge punch over Onigashima. At the end of episode 1074, Luffy calls down an island-sized fist, but the punch doesn't actually land until episode 1076. There were 2 weeks of real-world time between those moments, and the episode between was almost entirely reanimated recap. The weight of Luffy's punch was lost on me when it finally came down. I haven't felt this blue-balled since Uzaki Season 2 ended with a shrug. I understand why the anime's doing this. Catching up would be catastrophic and would probably lead to Shippuden-style filler arcs. I don't want 9 months of Bartolomeo picking his nose on different islands, as admittedly amusing as that does sound. But this pacing has other consequences too. What if I decide One Piece isn't entertaining anymore? That it's not worth my time? maybe I'd rather go pick up a seasonal anime, which has a lot more action, or catch up on something good in my backlog. And that's exactly what I did. One Piece bored me to the point that I stopped watching entirely. It wasn't anything sudden. There was no breaking point. I just went to watch anime on Saturday one week and decided I'd let One Piece pile up for a few weeks. I had been on break for a year when I was shocked to learn that Gear 5 was being hyped up for debut. So I decided it'd be a good time to come back. I binged 42 episodes over 3 weekends and it exhausted me. Barely anything happened each week, and we lingered far too long on what were very short fights in the manga. Oden's tragic death was relived a half dozen times through flashbacks, and even the big fights between headliners and Straw Hats were padded out extensively with pointless beam battles and power struggles. There were even entire episodes which were dedicated wholly to recap and flashbacks. Bartolomeo, please, I need you to give me some space.
Hello? Yes?
You! The pacing hadn't gotten any better in my time off, and honestly, binging a year's worth of Wano Kuni at once made it feel worse. So what would help fix it? Can anything bring One Piece back to being one of my most beloved shows? I think the only real way to move forward is to drastically reduce the filler and padding that's been in the show since the time skip. I don't think we can do filler arcs. One Piece has been defined by its massive story, which spans multiple years, and interrupting something like Wano Kuni to tell an unrelated story for 6 months would rub me and probably everyone else the wrong way. I don't want to have Shippuden's Locus of Konoha or Haruhi Suzumiya's Endless Eight. That really only leaves one option. One Piece could go seasonal. The days of the mega long-running anime series are waning in favor of tight, arc-focused seasonal shows. Some of the most popular anime in recent years are My Hero Academia, Jujutsu Kaisen, and Demon Slayer. All 3 of these shows have one major thing in common. They air for 12 to 24 episodes, tell the story of a single, impactful arc, and then they go on break until they can do it again. Could you imagine what One Piece would look like if it did that? What if Wano Kuni was split into 3 major parts? We could have a 24-episode season covering the Straw Hats' adventures on Wano, then a 12-episode arc telling the story of Oden and his samurai, and then wrap it up with a 24 to 36 episode run covering the raid on Onigashima. It could still air over the same 3 to 4 years, but us viewers would have a much tighter, more fulfilling and satisfying experience without all the fluff and padding. That'll never happen though, 'cause One Piece prints money like no one's business. The train cannot stop, and it probably never will. Realizing this, I did the one thing any sane human with more than 8 One Piece figurines would do. I started reading the manga. I am a sucker for anime. The amount of extra weight and intensity that good audio and voice acting can bring to a scene is worth so much to me, and I prefer it 9 times out of 10. But when an anime can't deliver on its emotional promises, I'm willing to set it aside. And you know what? I can feel it again. Pure joy and passion for Luffy's story. I'm excited about One Piece again. I truly wish I could feel the same way about the anime, but it's just not happening anymore. Someday we may get a condensed adaptation of post-time skip One Piece, which I would absolutely devour. In the meantime though, I'll open Shonen Jump to get what I need from Oda. Thanks for watching this far, and if you enjoyed this video, then maybe you'd like to hear me shout about High Dive for a bit. It'll be fun, I promise. So why not head to this video right over here.